Ladies and gentlemen, this is your future podcaster, Brandon Ingram here, with your June the 12th, 2020 Friday Night Smackdown review. So, we got a lot to go over, and we got a lot to talk about. So, before we get started, be sure you hit that like, subscribe button, and turn on the all bell for notifications so you won't miss all my Friday Night Smackdown and NXT Monday Night Raw reviews that I do on my YouTube channel. You know, I always do Monday Night Raw. I always do your Monday Night Raw review first before I do your NXT review. And then, after that, I do Friday Night Smackdown review. Which I'm getting ready to do right now. And of course, you already know to subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on Twitter. Like my Facebook page, follow me on Twitch. I'm going to be doing some content on Twitch, probably in the summer. I don't know. Well, I'll probably be doing it in the summer. I'll probably have some content. I'll probably be live streaming on Dragon Ball Universe 2, playing online on Twitch and on... some reason I can't do it on Twitter. It's blocked on Twitter to where you can't live stream and play Dragon Ball Universe 2. Stream live on the YouTube channel. So, anyways, let's get started. So, we got, opening segment, we got the Jeff Hardy, Sheamus contract signing. We got the contract signing as the opening segment. We got Sheamus and Jeff Hardy signing the contract for their singles match that will be taking place at WWE Backlash. And then we got the New Day versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro, which I was definitely not interested in seeing whatsoever. The match that I was not interested in seeing. And then we got AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan. By the way, this is one of the best WWE Dream matches in WWE history. Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles have so much chemistry in the ring. It's not even funny. They have the best chemistry ever in the ring. So we got that amazing TV match last night. And then we got the Banks and Bayley celebration. Oh, it's funny that we're seeing Bayley and Banks on SmackDown, but they showed up on Raw. I mean, what the hell was Bayley and Sasha Banks even doing on Raw? They're not even Monday Night Raw superstars. They're Friday Night Smackdown women superstars, not Monday Night Raw women superstars. They're Friday Night Smackdown women's superstars. I didn't understand that Asuka segment back on Monday Night Raw at all. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand it either. JD didn't understand it, neither did I. I didn't understand it at all. I did not understand that segment. It didn't make sense. Why was Charlotte Flair in the Asuka segment? Why, let alone why was Sasha Banks and Bayley even in this segment? I mean, what was the purpose of them showing up on Raw? It's not even their brand. So Charlotte is now back on Raw, the so-called android that JD calls her. So yeah, we got the contract signing, the New Day versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro, like I said, wasn't interested in seeing, but I watched it anyway for you all. And we got Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles, Banks and Bayley celebration. We got, oh my God, we got the WWE main event, main roster typical garbage. We got Heavy Machinery and Braun Strowman versus Dolph Ziggler, MIZ&Morrison for the main event. And speaking of main event, I'm trying to wrap my head around and figure out why was the IC title not in the main event. WWE have got to do a better job with this stuff. This is what I'm talking about. WWE just booked the worst main event on Friday Night Smackdown. That main event was garbage as it gets. The six-man tag match main event was absolutely garbage. I knew it. I knew it was going to be garbage right from the get-go. I knew it was. I knew it was going to be absolutely main roster garbage. I knew it. Told JD that this match was going to be garbage. I told him that. And he probably already knew himself anyway. He probably knew that. Of course, all the other podcasters knew that probably as well. Wrestle Talk, including. Folks, the IC Tournament Finals title should have been booked for the main event. That's the bottom line. Why would you book a six-man tag team match for the main event rather than book the IC Tournament Finals match for the main event for the Intercontinental Championship? I mean, folks, that's just not making sense to me. That didn't make sense. Hello, the IC title should have been booked for the main event. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not even going to go any further. Because the WWE does what WWE wants. They don't freaking listen to the fans. They don't freaking listen to half of the podcasters on the YouTube channel. The WWE doesn't care about nobody but them daggone selves. Let's be honest. I mean, plain and simple. They don't care about nobody but their damn selves. No wonder why the Raw and SmackDown ratings are getting bad. Oh, and speaking of ratings, guess who was on television last night? And guess who was not on television last night? Sonya Deville. Sonya Deville was not suspiciously on television last night. That was unusual to not see Sonya Deville on television. So there was no Sonya Deville tonight. Oh, it's like Bruce and Vince threw all that out. Huh. I wonder if they scrapped the Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville feud. Probably did. Ain't no telling. That feud was going well, and they probably done. That's probably an indication that they probably done scrapped the Mandy Rose Sonya Deville feud. I hope not, and for my sake, and probably for JD's sake, he's probably hoping the same. I hope for my sake that they did not scrap this Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville feud, because I am going to be so freaking mad if they did. I'm not kidding. This is going to piss JD off so bad. I'm going to be so mad if they did. I'm not even kidding. And guess who happened to be on television instead of Sonya Deville? King Corbin, folks. Yep, King Corbin. WWE's typical garbage. King Corbin. WWE's typical garbage. King Corbin was on television last night during the main event. Now you wonder why the SmackDown ratings are going down. Because you got WWE's typical garbage, King Corbin, on television. Typical garbage as it gets, right there. What I'm talking about. King Corbin's promos and character is absolutely terrible. His promo was absolutely terrible last night. As always, King Corbin's promo and character is always terrible as usual. Which is why nobody in the arena, which is why none of the fans in the arena like him, which is why none of the NXT Performance Center recruits in the arena like him. And speaking of NXT Performance Center recruits, I feel so freaking bad. Poor souls. I feel so bad for the NXT Performance Center recruit female and male trainees. For the third month in a row, WWE has not given no WWE Performance Center male and female trainees no chairs to sit in. They had them standing up for 1 to 2 hours during SmackDown television. They didn't even give them no chairs at all. No chairs. They didn't give them no chairs, so they had them standing up. I guess this is WWE's way of doing what the heck they want, because it apparently seems this way. It apparently seems that way. WWE's way of doing what the heck they want. I mean, well, that's WWE for you. Yep, you could thank Vince McMahon for having the WWE Performance Center female male recruits standing up rather than giving them chairs to sit in. That's just fucking great. Amazing. Vince McMahon, I am getting so sick and tired of the chairman of WWE, Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon needs to immediately quit as chairman of WWE because he does not know what in the hell. He does not know what the hell he's doing as chairman of WWE. He just needs to step down as chairman because Vince McMahon absolutely fucking sucks as chairman of WWE. And you know what? Speaking of chairman, speaking of executive director, too, Paul Heyman, I feel real bad for Paul Heyman because he got fired as executive director. At first, I didn't feel bad for him because I thought he was a terrible executive director. But now I kind of feel bad for Paul Heyman getting fired from being executive director. Getting fired from WWE, period. And like JD was saying, they got Bruce assigned to executive director for both brands. I mean, typical garbage as it gets, man. Show's gonna get worse. Months go by. The shows are going to get even worse. The Friday Night Smackdown and Raw shows are going to get even worse, folks. You haven't seen nothing yet. Just wait till the middle to the end of the year get here. I'm telling you, these shows are going to get even worse than you imagine. The ratings are going to be down even worse than you can ever imagine. The Raw and SmackDown ratings, they're going to be worse. They're going to be far worse than they were the last 2-3 months. I'm telling you, they are going to be far worse. Anyways, so without further ado, let's get started reviewing tonight's Friday Night Smackdown. So, the opening segment of Friday Night Smackdown. So, the opening segment, Friday Night Smackdown, Renee Young was in the ring. They started with the controversial contract signing. Sheamus walked out, and he had a guy in a lab coat with him. There were also some security guards, and 2 of them were carrying down a partition, so to speak. The gimmick is that Sheamus is going to demand a drug test, just like we demand that Friday Night Smackdown and the Raw ratings go up. We demand that Vince McMahon and Bruce Prichard does the right fucking thing by doing their freaking jobs, by making these Friday Night Smackdown and Raw shows look better, which they are not. They're making them look worse. There you go. Hardy is supposed to stand inside the waist-high puppet stage and pee in a cup. Nobody wanted to see that. Why did WWE go with this? Why? This just doesn't make no sense. Nobody wants to see no inappropriate stuff on the show. Well, what the heck were they thinking? It's almost as if Bruce wants to suck Vince McMahon's cock. Let's be honest. Jeff said he doesn't care what the partition is for because he's been through enough. Sheamus said that Hardy hit Elias with his car. But Hardy didn't do it. He didn't do it. Sheamus said that he wants assurance that Hardy isn't on drugs before their match. I still can't get my head wrapped around as to why Sonya Deville was not on television. I'm sorry, I keep mentioning that. I still could not get my head wrapped around it. Anyways, everyone booed the piss test, which is just all kinds of iconic. Just exactly just exactly how I think of the Iconics, the Idiotics, the Moronics. Let's be honest. They booed Sheamus' request for a drug test. Then Jeff Hardy finally said, "My name is Jeff Hardy, and I'm an alcoholic." And to be honest, the Iconics, they are gorgeous, but I had to copy what JD said because it's funny when he says the Iconics, the Moronics, the Idiotics. It's funny, especially when he says main roster garbage. That's what really makes me laugh about this guy. He's amazing. JD from NY206 is amazing and hilarious at what he does on his podcast. Anyways, meanwhile, WWE are not amazing at giving us better Friday Night Smackdown and Raw shows. JD has been putting SmackDown and Raw on blast for the last few weeks on this podcast, and damn, he is good at it. I must be honest. I want to see JD put Bruce and Vince on blast even more. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see JD's Friday Night Smackdown review. I cannot wait. I really want to hear what he has to say because I'm going to be laughing. I'm going to enjoy it. Okay, so anyways. Yeah, so Jeff Hardy finally said, "My name is Jeff Hardy and I'm an alcoholic." Trust me, I'm not a drinker. I don't drink. I don't be around alcohol. I don't like alcohol. It's not good for you. Don't do it. I encourage you all not to drink alcohol. It's not good for you. It will kill you. And it will make you go to the bathroom a lot. Probably didn't want to hear all the information, but it's the truth. If he has to pee in a cup, then fine. Sheamus obviously doesn't really realize how ineffective urine tests are at picking up alcohol. Sheamus said that he has a rapid test for immediate results. He even paid for it himself. Then Sheamus told Renee Young to leave because Jeff was having stage fright. Then Sheamus gave us a message gave us a message to not do drugs like Jeff Hardy. So then, when Sheamus went over to Jeff Hardy, he had filled up the entire container, which was far too much human urine for one session, especially during such a short PSA from Sheamus. Sheamus suggested that Hardy say, "Just say no." Then Hardy said, "It's better to be pissed off than pissed on," before slinging the pee in Sheamus' face. Wow, that was just disgusting. So, basically, I'm going to give you information in the description on what Hardy, I'm going to give you a hint on what Hardy did. So basically what Hardy did was he basically just took the cup that he peed on and basically he took the cup that he peed on and he thrown it all over Sheamus. Sheamus, I'm sorry. Sheamus, bro, I know you're watching. I'm sorry. But that was just funny. Here, I'll give myself one too. The price is wrong, man. The price is wrong. That was just wrong. But that was just wrong. Seriously, Jeff Hardy throwing that pee on Sheamus is throwing all the Jeff Hardy throwing that pee, throwing the pee that he had in the cup all over Sheamus. Ugh, it was just disgusting. That was just disgusting. So disgusting that it made me want to say,
"Hello, faggot."
No, not that though, but so disgusting that it made me want to puke. Made me want to yarn. It was that disgusting. It was beyond disgusting. It really was. So they bleeped the second usage of piss because they were talking about the act of it instead of using it as a figure of speech. So English is an interesting language. Really, they use English of all languages? No, I'm just kidding. Sheamus and took off his pee-soaked shirt. Just saying the word pee just makes me want to throw up. After commercial, Sheamus was shown backstage, gargling and trying to wash up. The doctor said that Hardy's results came back negative. Sheamus couldn't believe it. He was very upset that he was showered and peed for nothing. Don't you hate it when that happens? Don't we all hate that when that happens? Don't we all hate it when that happens? Yep. I would hate it too. Not that I never got showered and peed, but I would never want to get showered and peed. That'd be disgusting. So, ladies and gentlemen, we got the first match to start off tonight's Friday Night Smackdown. A match that I was not interested in watching because, let's be honest, we've already seen this match before. Matter of fact, I don't even remember the last time New Day went against Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro. I think it was last month when the New Day had went against Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro. I think that's the last time they ever had a match against each other in a tag team match. But this was the match that started off Friday Night Smackdown. But that was a good opening. That was a good Sheamus and Jeff Hardy opening segment to start off Friday Night Smackdown. The contract signing, I liked it. It was pretty good. It was great. I enjoyed it. I loved it. They need to continue this feud. This feud is going great. They do not need to screw this feud up. And I think this match will have the right victor going into Backlash, which will be this Sunday, I think. Correct me if I'm right or wrong. I think it is the Sunday Backlash. So going into Backlash, this match between Jeff Hardy and Sheamus is going to be personal than we thought. It's going to be great. If anything, it may just be better than the Randy Orton versus Edge match. Because let's be honest, the Orton versus Edge, the greatest match ever, is going to be more like the greatest failure match ever. Let's be honest. I'm just saying. I'll be surprised if it wasn't though. But it will be. In my opinion, it will be the greatest failure match of Backlash. Because Backlash is going to be one of the worst pay-per-views this year. I guarantee you when you watch Backlash, these matches are going to really, really suck. You might not want to watch Backlash this Sunday. I encourage you all not to watch Backlash this Sunday. The pay-per-view is going to be absolutely beyond terrifying. It's going to be garbage. It's going to be some main roster garbage. I encourage you all not to watch it. Especially given the fact that they got Edge versus Randy Orton booked for Backlash, which is going to be, I said this the first time, I'm going to say this again, which is going to be the greatest failure match at Backlash. What's even worse, and I'm going to mention that here once I get to it. Once I get to the part where it says where we got a video package of MIZ&Morrison. Once I get to that, I'm going to mention that match with, Braun Strowman defending his Universal Championship against MIZ&Morrison. Yeah, I'm going to mention, we're going to talk about that in a bit. Right now, going to reveal to y'all what happened with this tag team match between New Day, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Cesaro. As soon as I get the superstars up here on the screen, which the New Day would happen to be these guys on the screen, Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura. Cesaro, which happens to be this Cesaro right here, and Shinsuke Nakamura, which happens to be this Shinsuke right here. So, here is what happened with this tag team match. So, Cesaro and Kofi Kingston started things out. I was not interested in this match. I really wasn't. Let's be honest, I am totally not a fan of the New Day. Just saying. Black Lives Matter, even though I'm not a fan of the New Day. Alright? So, hope that's not racist. Anyways, Cesaro and Kofi Kingston started things out. Kofi hit a splash for a 1 count before Cesaro caught Kofi off the ropes and turned it into a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker. Now, I am a fan of what Kofi does in the ring, but I'm just not a fan of him or the New Day. I am a fan of what he does in the ring. He does good in the ring. When it comes to them acting like clowns, yeah, I'm not a fan of that. But when they're in the ring, when they're serious in the ring, yeah, that's what I like. That's when I like New Day the most, when they're serious in the ring. Although I just don't like the tag team name, the New Day. I just don't like the tag team. Just not a fan of the New Day. Period. So yeah, like I said, Cesaro and Kofi Kingston started things all out. Kofi hit a splash for a 1 count before Cesaro caught Kofi off the ropes and turned it into a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker. Nakamura got the tag, and he quickly caught a double stone to the chest from Kofi, because that's exactly what he got. Nakamura nailed Big E with a kick to the back of the head, and he fell off the apron because that's exactly what he did. Then Cesaro hit an uppercut, and E fell hard. So they cut to commercial. The heels continue beating down E. And by the way, it came back for commercial as the heels continued beating down E as they tagged in and out. Then Big E hit an elbow on Cesaro and a Billy Billy's throw. Kofi and Shinsuke took the tags, and Kofi hit the momentum. Kofi hit a rally of signature moves, including a boom drop. He started gearing up the crowd, and then which happens to be the NXT Performance Center crowd dressing as fans. Then he hit an SOS on Nakamura, but Cesaro broke up the pin. Big E clothesline Cesaro over the top rope. Kofi climbed up top. Nakamura joined him. Kofi kicked Shinsuke down, and then Kofi went for a crossbody, but Nakamura got his knee up and got the pinfall. This was a good win for Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro. Finally, for the first time as a team, they got a win. They have been on a losing streak lately as a team, in my opinion. So, Otis and Tucker Knight were basically having a backstage segment which I was not interested in. But I was interested in seeing Mandy Rose on TV. So, Otis and Tucker were having a segment backstage, and then Mandy came in and gave him a kiss and his briefcase. Then Hardy and Sheamus continued fighting backstage. They did a pull apart backstage as we cut to commercial. That was fucking great. Sheamus and Jeff Hardy fighting backstage. They did fucking great with that. That was fucking great. That was great. I love that. I'd rather see Sheamus and Jeff Hardy backstage than Otis and Tucker anyway, let's be honest. No disrespect. So, here is the next match. The that took place tonight on Friday Night Smackdown. So we got the IC title match, a match that I said should have been in the main event, but it wasn't. Whoever wrote this show is an abomination. Whoever wrote this show is a total idiot, because they did not realize that the IC title should have been the main event. As good as this match was, in my opinion, this IC Tournament Finals should have been in the main event, but it wasn't, because WWE wants to do what WWE wants. That's that simple. Even everybody on Twitter said that this match should have been in the main event. I was the first one that said it before any other podcaster did. On Twitter. Oh yeah. Also, there was no need for Friday Night Smackdown to book that 6-man tag team match, because we're going to talk about that later. Actually, I'm not going to go into that. We're going to talk about that later. At the end, we're going to talk about that. But this IC title match was really good, even though, again, they should have put it in the main event. This should have been the main event. Title matches some certain title matches should always be in the main event. It gives better ratings. You know, you get better ratings that way. You know? In my opinion, you get better ratings having title matches in the main event. But this was an instant classic Intercontinental Tournament Final TV match. Your typical TV match that you would want to sit back and eat your popcorn and watch. That's how good this match was. That's how good this match was on Friday Night Smackdown tonight. So, it was AJ Styles AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan. Trying to wait till I pull him up and then say it. There we go. So, here's what happened with this match between Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles for the Intercontinental Championship. This was the Intercontinental Championship Tournament Finals, for those of you who probably didn't hear me say that. I repeat it again in case. Just being nice, as usual. I try to be nice as I can, a lot of times. So, they played a nice video package before this match started. So, this match between AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan got started with a lockup, and then they were off to test each other early on. So this was already looking to be an instant classic matchup. You could just tell that this was getting ready to be an instant classic matchup. So, Bryan came off of an arm submission with a dropkick that sent AJ tucked to the corner. So it sent AJ tucked to the corner. Before they locked up again, Styles kicked Bryan and continued to work like a heel. Bryan blocked Styles' suplex attempt. Then Bryan sent AJ out of the ring and hit a dive on him. Bryan remained in control as he tried to tie Styles up like a pretzel. Styles got up and nailed a dropkick off the ropes to slow down the pace a bit. Styles nailed some right hands and chopped Bryan in the corner. Then Bryan came back with some forearm shots. Bryan took the Styles down. He took AJ Styles down, and then Styles got out and tried to hyperextend his elbow AJ Styles sent Bryan down to the mat and got back up with him. Then Bryan turned fire with a knee to the midsection. Bryan got on a surfboard submission next, but he changed his mind and locked on another string of holds. Then Bryan focused on AJ Styles' leg as he continued. Then he stood AJ up to kick him in the corner. They traded roll-up pins, and then they continued trading near falls until they stood to their feet. So when we got back from commercial break, they were still evenly matched. Bryan tried to get a yes lock, but AJ launched Bryan over the top rope instead. AJ jumped down, Bryan grabbed him and sent him into the ring post. Then Bryan stomped on AJ's elbow on the ring apron. They returned to the ring. Bryan zeroed in on Styles' elbow once again. Ouch, that had to hurt AJ Styles real bad. Styles rolled to the apron, but eventually came back in. Then Bryan missed a drop kick to the corner, and he went crashing against the buckle. Yeah, he went crashing against the buckle. So then AJ Styles took control at that point. He grabbed Bryan's knee and slammed it against the apron. Then he returned to the ring, where he continued to pick Bryan's knees apart. Bryan nearly kicked to the head, and then it was a race to their feet. AJ tries for a springboard move from the apron, but Bryan shoved him back, and then he nailed some strikes in the corner before placing him up top. He hit a Frankensteiner and got hyped up. Bryan started nailing yes kicks, but he missed the fourth. AJ returned fire with a stiff clothesline. Cut to commercial. Jeez, another commercial. Yeah, that's what I was like. That's what I was saying when I was watching Friday Night Smackdown. I was like, geez, another commercials? How many commercials are they going to fucking have? Jeez Louise. Anyways, they came back from commercial break, and those two were still going at it with strikes. Then Styles was lifted over the top rope, and he landed hard. Bryan went for a dive, but Styles landed a kick. And Styles went for a phenomenal forearm. Bryan locked him in an armbar, and Styles reversed it into a calf crusher. Bryan eventually got it into an armbar again. The Styles go out of it before Daniel kicked his head in for a 2 count. Bryan placed AJ on top, but Styles fought off. Then Bryan jumped back up, but he was kicked off again. Bryan jumped up a third time and hammered down at Styles with forearms. Then Bryan hit a superplex before they cut to commercial break. Again! Oh my god. That's like 4 or 3 commercial breaks in a row when I was watching that. When I was watching Friday Smackdown that night. Yeah, man, that's way too much commercials, man. They ain't at least have 4 or 3. That's too much for Friday Smackdown. Friday Smackdown only lasts from 8 to 10 o'clock p.m. It don't last like how Raw lasts. Oh, because Raw's the so-called #1 brand in sports entertainment. I disagree, which I disagree with. Absolutely. I think NXT's the #1 brand in sports entertainment because they're doing really good on their brand. They're doing better than Raw and SmackDown, let's be honest. As far as the rating goes. As far as the ratings and the matches and the promos and the backstage interviews goes. Anyways. But NXT, I wouldn't say NXT TakeOver in Your House was TakeOver worthy, let's be honest. Anyways, good show, but just wasn't TakeOver worthy. But they cut the commercial break again. They continued evenly matched. Bryan flipped over Styles and sold his leg before AJ hit a neck breaker for a 2 count. AJ tried to pick up Bryan, but he was met with elbow. Then AJ nailed a Pele kick and a brainbuster for a 2 count. So then AJ signaled for the Styles Clash. Bryan reversed into a pin. That's what was so good about this match. They were showing all the NXT Performance Center trainees what they can do, what moves they can do. They can do all kinds of moves. Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles can do anything. Daniel Bryan's a technician. And I think AJ Styles is a technician too himself, I think, in his own right. So, yeah, AJ signaled for the Styles Clash. I did read that already. Bryan reversed into a pin, but Styles got out, and Bryan got a German suplex, kept on the hold. AJ reversed with his own pinning German suplex for the for the 2 count. Then Bryan hit another pinning German for another 2 count. Bryan tried to get on a yes lock and finally locked it in. Styles got out of the hold, and Bryan started to pump himself up. Yes chant started in the crowd. The crowd that didn't have that never got any chairs to sit on. Instead, they gave Corbin's crown a chair rather than give the Performance Center recruits a chair. Yeah. You want to talk about sad. You want to talk about poor souls. Yeah. That was just sad as it gets right there. Most certainly sad as it gets right there. Which goes to show WWE does not give a damn about their WWE Performance Center NXT trainees. Anyways, so then Bryan, after the yes chant started in the crowd, Bryan got AJ and started stomping down on him. Then Bryan prepared for the running knee, but AJ caught him and hit Styles Clash, but he couldn't pin him. Then Styles nailed a phenomenal forearm for the win. This was a brilliant, very, very fantastic, brilliant, perfect TV match. This was a good TV match. Like I said, I told you, this is the type of TV match you would sit back and watch for days, man. This match is one of Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles is one of the best dream matches in WWE. They have went against, from what I heard from a guy on Twitter, a guy retweeted my tweet with a comment saying that AJ and Bryan have had matches against each other a lot, and I personally agree with him. Yes, they have had. Indeed, he was right. AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan has had a lot of matches against each other, but not as much as the matches they had against each other in the WWE. Man, this match was great. This was a great WWE TV match. So the start in the middle of Friday Night Smackdown was seemingly decent. It was very, very decent. But here's where things get even more great. We got the Bayley and Sasha Banks celebration. So Braun Strowman cut a promo backstage. It was okay. He's the Universal Champion and plans to remain so following Backlash. Wonder if the Fiend's gonna soon take that title off of Braun Strowman and get his Universal title back. His prize. Hopefully the Fiend will claim his prize back. So, I mean, let's be honest. Seeing that we haven't seen the Fiend on TV for about maybe 3 or 4 weeks, hopefully we'll see the Fiend back. We should be able to see the Fiend back after Backlash, hopefully. We should be able to see him back after Backlash. And you want to know who else we haven't been seeing on TV that JD hasn't mentioned on his podcast? Lars Sullivan. That's another guy we haven't seen on TV. When is Lars Sullivan coming back? And what plans do they have for Lars Sullivan's return? That's my question looming in my head. That's the question illuminating my head. What plans do they have for Lars Sullivan's return to the WWE? I wonder what plans do they have for him. Will he be coming back after Backlash or after SummerSlam? I think he will be coming back after SummerSlam, more than likely. And when is Ember Moon making her in-ring return? And when is Mickie James making her in-ring return? See, they got all these talent on the roster and they're not even using them. This is what I'm talking about. This is what JD was talking about in this podcast. They're not using talent on the roster. They're not using talent like Ali, Humberto, Aleister Black, Andrade, and Angel Garza. Where's all these people going to be when Bruce Prichard starts taking over Raw and SmackDown as executive director? Like he was saying, where's all these people going to be? They're going to be right back in the back in the backstage locker room, like No Way Jose and EC3, like those guys that got released from WWE. Those talent that Vince McMahon didn't use on the Monday Night Raw roster. Ultimately, they end up all getting released from the WWE simply because Vince McMahon wanted money, of course. It's what Luke Ollie says on his Wrestle Talk. Money! Money my ass. Vince McMahon needs to get it there in life, seriously. And I don't think Vince McMahon realized that he released one of his best talents on the roster, including Tenora Conti, Leo Rush, and Deonna Purrazzo, and Rusev, a former United States champion. It's only Vince McMahon could have used on the roster. But no, he decided to get rid of all of them. And then he released Drew Gulak, then brought him back. It's like now you release Drew Gulak, now you want to bring him back. It makes sense. So, we got anyways, moving on. We got the Bayley and Sasha Banks celebration. I still don't understand why Bayley and Sasha Banks had the reason to show up on Monday Night Raw. I mean, they're technically not Monday Night Raw superstars. They're on the SmackDown brand, not on the Raw brand. Sasha Banks, Bayley, what the hell were you two doing on Monday Night Raw? That's just like when JD said, Mojo Rawley, the hell are you doing on Friday Night Smackdown? The other catering is that way, on Monday Night Raw. Not this way, that way. Not this way, that way, Mojo Rawley. Ooh, speaking of Mojo Rawley, I'm glad we're not seeing him on WWE Television, because he is WWE garbage, just like Chad Gable. This match last week on television, garbage. So, I'm glad we're not seeing Mojo Rawley on Friday Night Smackdown, because he's not even a Friday Night Smackdown brand superstar. He's on the Monday Night Raw roster. It's like, what the hell was Mojo Rawley doing on Friday Night Smackdown last Friday? I didn't get that. I really didn't get that. But, anyways, we got the Bayley and Sasha Banks celebration. Yada, 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 yada. Yeah, okay. Bayley and Sasha Banks celebration, yep. That celebration turned out to be ruined by none other than Bliss and Cross, and I'm actually going to get to that in just a minute. I'm actually going to tell y'all what happened with that celebration thing. That took place last night on Friday Night Smackdown. Because now it's Saturday, it's not Friday anymore, it's Saturday, so now I'm saying last night. Because it literally just turned 12 o'clock. It was 11:59, now it's 12 o'clock. So now we can say last night on Friday Night Smackdown. Now. Instead of saying tonight, we can say last night. So, yes, folks, last night, Bayley and Sasha Banks had their celebration. I'll show you exactly what Bayley and Sasha Banks did I'm talking about. I'm talking about this Bayley right here. This is the Bayley I'm talking about. And the Sasha Banks that I'm actually referring to happens to be this Sasha Banks. So, the ring was done up like a celebration with balloons as the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions came to the ring. I don't understand why they are booking this triple threat match for the women's tag team champions. Bayley and Sasha Banks have just became the two-time women's champions. Why are they already booking them in a match where they're technically probably rumored to even win? They're probably rumored to successfully retain their titles. They're probably rumored to win. I will be surprised if they were not rumored to win. I'll be surprised if that rumor was a lie. I'll be surprised. I'll be surprised if Bayley and Sasha Banks had their titles taken off of them real quick, being buried real quick by Vince McMahon. I would be absolutely fucking surprised if those titles were to be taken off of them and put back on Alexa Bliss or the Iconics. Let's hope Bayley and Sasha Banks retain their titles at Backlash, because I think the right victors would be Bayley and Sasha Banks. So that way we can start seeing dream matches, so we can start seeing dream women's tag team matches on NXT. I mean, we are going to see women's tag team dream matches on NXT next week, I hope. I hope Sasha Banks, for my sake, I hope Sasha Banks and Bayley retain the titles at Backlash. Because if they don't, a lot of people are not going to be happy, neither, including me. JD's not either. JD from NY 206 is not going to be happy about it either. And I don't think Wrestle Talk or any other podcasters are not going to be happy about if they don't come out retaining their titles. If they lose those titles. Bayley and Sasha Banks shouldn't even be losing those titles too soon, seeing that they just won them. Seeing that they just won them. For those of you who probably can't hear. Probably got ear problems anyway. Hearing aid problems. But, yeah, the ring was done like a celebration with balloons. WWE Women's Tag Team Champions came to the ring. Bayley yelled at the NXT crowd. And they started a "You Suck" chant. Bayley said, "It's lonely" at the top. She said, "Once you're the most dominant SmackDown Women's Champion in history, it can be lonely." But she's not lonely because she's got Banks. Banks said that they're unstoppable together. Then Bayley was about to read a poem she wrote before Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross came out and interrupted them. Nikki said they love a good party after Bliss dragged Bayley for reading poetry. The Iconics, the Idiotics, the Moronics, like what JD says. That guy's freaking funny, man. It's hilarious. I wanted to say it because I like what JD says it. That's the reason why I said it. I bet Alexa Bliss was having a laugh at this too when she heard JD say the Iconics, the Idiotics, the Moronics. Bet Billy Kay and Peyton Royce didn't like that. Probably taking to Twitter. They'll probably take to Twitter to mention his name and talk crap to him. Tell him they're probably gonna be like Alexa Bliss. They're probably gonna be like, "How dare you!" I'd be surprised if Billy Kay and Peyton Royce take to Twitter and be like, "JD from NY, how dare you?" JD from NY, he'll probably be looking like, "Man, nobody gives a shit about you two." Anyways. The Iconics showed up on the screen with the Raw background behind them. Why are we seeing Raw in the Titantron? See, this is what I'm talking about. Why are we seeing Monday Night Raw in the Titan throne? This is Friday Night Smackdown, not Raw. The Iconics are not Friday Night Smackdown women's superstars. They are on the Monday Night Raw women's roster, not on the Friday Night Smackdown women's roster. See, that's what I'm talking about. What the hell were the Iconics doing on Friday Night Smackdown? That's the same thing I said about Bayley and Sasha Banks on Raw. Really. It's like a freaking shit show here. Seriously. Jeez Louise. Iconic showed up on the screen with the Raw background behind him. Bliss and Cross attacked Bayley and Banks and sent them out of the ring. Oh my God. Miz and Morrison debuted in a new music, the same trash that we've already seen last month. Miz and Morrison are not boosting the ratings for Friday Night Smackdown, and you wonder why the tag team division is looking bad like they are. Oh, and where in the world are the Forgotten Sons? Where's the Forgotten Sons? Oh, where's the Lucha House Party? What is SmackDown doing with this tag team? What is SmackDown doing with those tag teams? Where are they? Where are they? I don't understand. Where's the Forgotten Sons? Why are we not seeing them on television? See, that's what I'm talking about. And then you wonder why the Revival left the WWE, because how bad the tag team division is. Don't blame them. I really don't fucking blame them for leaving the WWE. Really don't. Really don't blame them for leaving WWE to go to another WWE company. Even though I don't like AEW. They went to AEW, the Revival did, even though I don't like AEW. I actually like WWE better. I'll like WWE even more if they start doing better, providing us better Friday Night Smackdown or Monday Night Raw shows. I can tell you that much. So, yeah. MIZ&Morrison debuted a new music video against Braun Strowman. Really? Nobody wanted to see that. Who gives a shit? Really? Who cares? Nobody wants to see it. Really? I didn't like the video package at all. It was absolutely garbage. I didn't want to see it. I mean, not to mention the 6-man tag match was absolutely garbage. The end of the show was absolutely garbage. It's 2. So, there you go. So, yeah, they debuted a new music video against Braun Strowman, but the video was cut off by Strowman's entrance. Matt Riddle. Folks, I'm interested to see how WWE is going to do with Matt Riddle. I'm interested to see what WWE is going to do with Matt Riddle. What storylines are they going to put Matt Riddle in? And I'm interested to see what feuds they're going to put Matt Riddle in. Use Matt Riddle wisely, WWE. Use him in a good way. Don't use him like how you used Finn Balor. Don't use him how you used superstars like Lio Rush and Drake Maverick. Please don't do him like how you did those guys. Do not do him how you did Andrade, Angel Garza, and Aleister Black, and Humberto. Humberto, so to speak. Please, do not bury Matt Riddle, because that is going to make the ratings worse if you bury Matt Riddle by having him lose a match that. And Matt Riddle should be a good talent for the SmackDown roster. Matt Riddle is going to be a top star on the Friday Night SmackDown roster, in my opinion. Not a future top star, but a top star right away. I think he's going to be I think he's immediately going to be a top star on the Friday Night SmackDown roster within the coming months. If WWE does good building Matt Riddle up as a main event or a top star, or a main event top star, however you want to say it. So they play Matt Riddle promo. He'll be on the show next week. I cannot wait. I'm interested to see what Matt Riddle's going to do. I'm pretty sure Wrestle Talk and Culture cannot wait to see him either. I'm pretty sure all the other podcasters cannot wait to see him, including JD from NY. Pretty sure. Pretty sure Macho T can't wait to see Matt Riddle either. All the other guys I have followed on, all the other guys I have subscribed to their YouTube channel. So, folks, this was your so-called main event. Hold on. Actually, yeah. So the main event of the evening, which I was not interested in watching, which I picked up the remote control and immediately turned the channel. Actually, instead of turning the channel, I actually just ignored it. I just didn't look at the TV. Just didn't look at it. This match was absolutely garbage. Every sense of the word. Main event, absolutely garbage. It was already embarrassing enough for me to even watch the main event, the match, main event of the evening. I mean, you got three big guys teaming up together against three guys that are less bigger than the three big guys that they were going against. I mean, you got 300-pounders in the ring. What the world? What in the world? Bad booking that was bad booking by WWE. Just bad. Period. Straight out bad booking. It's almost like booking a freaking bug. Jeez. Really. Then you wonder another reason, and check this out. This is another reason why the ratings are going down, because they don't know how to book matches correctly. They don't know how to handle their talent. They don't know how to use their talent, book their talent. You know, all that. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Absolutely makes no sense whatsoever. WWE's gonna be WWE, I guess. That's them doing what they want. They want to be pity. Well, let them be pity. They'll learn the right way, rather than learning the wrong way. I guess Vince McMahon is finally stepping up at the last minute to try to make changes to not only Friday Night Smackdown and Raw, but NXT as well. Which that's not going to sit well for Triple H. That's not going to make Triple H any happy. Triple H is going to be unhappy with Vince McMahon trying to change NXT, and you damn know good well that Triple H is not going to let Vince McMahon change NXT. And for my sake, I really hope Triple H does not let Vince McMahon change NXT, because if he does, NXT is going to be in for a main roster garbage doomsday. They're going to be in for a main roster garbage doomsday. Going to be in for some worse bookings and some bad storylines that Vince McMahon plans on making the changes to. Whatever the hell he's doing with NXT, he's planning on making changes on NXT, and I hope that Triple H puts a stop to Vince McMahon on doing that. It's not going to look good on the young talent on that roster. Really not. It's really not. I hope y'all can hear what I'm saying. Hope I'm just not mumbling. Because really I'm not. I'm actually talking. But the 6-on-6 man tag team match was the main event of Friday Night Smackdown, which shouldn't have never been the main event from the get-go. Let's be honest. Like I said, the IC Title Tournament Finals should have been the main event instead of the 6-man tag team match. See, this is what I'm talking about. See, WWE don't know how to book the right matches like they're supposed to. They don't know how to put the talent in the right matches. They don't know how to make their shows better, man. And you wonder why WWE management is failing. And you wonder why the ratings are going down like they are. Because you got WWE's typical garbage like Nia Jackson and MVP from Raw. Nia Jackson MVP from Raw and King Corbin from SmackDown. On SmackDown, anyway. So, yeah, you got WWE's typical garbage, MVP, Nia Jax on Raw, and King Corbin on SmackDown. And then, not to mention, you got Chad Gable, Shorty G. Sorry, correct me if I'm wrong, alright. It's Shorty G. And you got Mojo Rawley, which I don't know what the hell he was doing on Friday Night Smackdown last Friday. You got all these talent, and half of the talent are the reasons why the ratings are down. Some of them, there's only 5 talent. 5, I think, all 5 of the talent are also that I just named are also the reasons why the ratings are down. But the main reason why the ratings are down is because of Vince Kennedy McMahon. Not Vince Kennedy McMahon's father, but Vince Kennedy McMahon himself. The SmackDown ratings and the Raw ratings and the bad bookings and him wanting to make a change to Friday Night Smackdown and Raw is all of Vince McMahon's fault. Let's be honest. I'm actually going to repeat this again in case nobody didn't hear me. Because I'm actually going to say it the right way this time, because I actually want to repeat it again, because this has bothered a lot of people. Vince McMahon doing things that they don't want him to do. This has bothered a lot of people. So, as far as the Raw and SmackDown ratings dropping like flies week after week after week, and the straight up main roster garbage that's currently going on both Monday Night Raw and SmackDown brands, all of this is Vince McMahon's fault. Management, WWE creative and writers, all of this is Vince McMahon's fault. All of this. And I don't think there was no reason for Paul Heyman to get fired. I think Paul Heyman knew what he was doing as executive director. Bruce Prichard, on the other hand, does not know what he's doing as executive director. I don't think neither one of them knew what they were doing as executive director. Just like Vince McMahon doesn't know what he's doing as chairman of WWE. Just like Vince McMahon needs to also retire as chairman of WWE because he fucking sucks at it, let's be honest. And he needs to freaking retire. I think Triple H should be the next chairman of WWE. Triple H doing so good with NXT. I'm proud of how good Triple H has done. I'm proud of how good Triple H is doing with NXT. Just as long as they don't put Charlotte back on the NXT. Perfectly fine if they don't put Charlotte back on there. Anyways, so I'm going to tell y'all what happened with the main event. I'd rather talk about all that stuff than the main event, because this main event was fucking garbage. I am not kidding. So let me tell y'all what happened with this main event. So this 6-man tag team match continued until Corbin was shown backstage. Oh my God, King Corbin was shown on television. So you mean to tell me King Corbin was shown on television and not Sonya Deville? This was a bunch of bullshit. King Corbin cut a terrible garbage promo as usual, like he always does. So Corbin was shown backstage hitting on Mandy. Otis appeared backstage, jumped him as they did a pull apart. Corbin actually deserved that because he's a fucking garbage wrestler. His character's fucking garbage. I mean, what he does in the ring is pretty good, but his character's fucking garbage. His promos, the way he comes, is fucking garbage. Well, he's fucking garbage, period. So they continued in the ring without Otis. Tucker took abuse from Dolph Ziggler as Strowman tried to cheer his temporary tag team partner on. Tucker finally got to his feet, but Ziggler drove him back into his corner where Johnny Drip Drip. See, this is what I'm talking about. That's definitely what you call main roster garbage. That is what you call main roster garbage right there. Garbage as it gets. Johnny Drip Drip took the tag to apply some strikes and get a near fall. They need to never come up with that name again. Lame. Tucker Knight sent Johnny outside and then got rid of Miz Ziggler. Grabbed him until he caught a kick to the head. Ha ha ha, very funny. Kick to the fucking head. They can actually go eat a bag of dick. That's what they can go do. Then Miz and Morrison pulled Braun down just as Tucky was about to tag him. Otis and Mandy come back just as Tucker nailed a kick. Otis took a tag and knocked down Miz and Morrison. He hit a shoulder tackle on Ziggler. Body slammed Miz. Pancaked Morrison. Ziggler was the legal man, and he hit Otis with some shots that he didn't sell. Otis threw Ziggler out of the ring. Then Braun did hit Freight Train spot around the ring on the heels. Otis did a caterpillar on Ziggler and got the win. Folks, like I said, I've said this before and I'm saying this again. This 6-man main event was absolutely main event, main roster garbage. Straight up garbage, this match was. I about wanted to turn the fucking channel. Come on, you got 300 pounders going against guys that are 100 and something, 90 something pounds. They're going to, you got Ziggler and Miz Morrison going against 300 pounders. Honestly, I feel bad for them, even though this match was still straight up garbage. So my thoughts on the show, this is, by the way, this is the end of your June 12, 2020 Friday Night Smackdown review. My thoughts on the show tonight. I really enjoyed the start and the middle of Friday Night Smackdown, but the end of Friday Night Smackdown was WWE main roster garbage. Just saying. And I know I keep saying it because I like the way JD says that. But now I'm saying it because I'm telling the truth, because he's telling the truth. Some of these shows do be having some main roster garbage, believe it or not. Just like when JD said Yemenless once, he said, you know, this is exactly what he was talking about in the open, which he was. Which he did talk about that in the open. It was main roster garbage. I agree with him. I actually posted that video of him saying that on Instagram. It was so funny. I was laughing. It was really, really funny. So, I'm actually going to get off of here now. Folks, thanks for watching. I hope you got to hear what you got to hear on your June the 12th, 2020 Friday Night Smackdown review. Hope you got the information that you need to know about what happened on last night's Friday Night Smackdown. So, thanks for watching. I'm going to watch JD's Friday Night Smackdown Off the Script podcast review on his YouTube channel. See what his thoughts were on Friday Night Smackdown, and to see what funny things he's gonna say on his podcast this time. I'm hoping he says the word main roster garbage to where I can start freaking laughing like a motherfucker and just fall off the bed. So I'm going to watch JD from MY's Friday Night Smackdown review. Hopefully he's already posted his review on his podcast, because I'm going to be watching it. I'm hoping he say main roster garbage. That's what I'm hoping he says for the main event. And I'm hoping he said the same thing I said on my review. Where the heck was Sonya Deville? Why we didn't have Sonya Deville on television rather than King Corbin? Which I didn't think makes sense to me. Not having Sonya Deville on television and having King Corbin. Nobody wants to see King Corbin on television. I mean, we really don't. King Corbin's nothing more than WWE's typical garbage. Really. Anyways, I'm out. I'm getting the hell out of here. Everybody, have a good day. Have a good rest of y'all's weekend. So, be tuning in for my Monday Night Raw review, either Monday night or Tuesday morning. I will be reviewing Monday Night Raw either Monday night or Tuesday morning. So, be on one of those days, be tuning in. Because, be prepared for another Monday Night Raw garbage show next Monday. Don't worry, I'm going to be prepared. I'm going to watch it, even though it's going to be some main roster garbage on that show as well, like it always has been the past few months, just like Friday Night Smackdown. So, folks, I'm getting the hell out of here. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, Black Lives Matter. When you go to work, keep your mask on. Don't freaking touch anybody. Anybody that's got the coronavirus, don't touch them. Stay 6 feet away from the people with the coronavirus. Because if you get closer and closer to that person, then you're going to more than likely catch it. I'm saying if you get more closer to the person that has it, you're going to catch it. So it's always important to wear a mask when you're going to work. I always wear my mask to work, so just saying. And the current pandemic that's going on in this world, the crazy shit that's going on in this world right now, I wouldn't even fucking worry about it. The only person I would just worry about is myself. If I was you, I would worry about yourself and not worry about what's going on in the world. Just ignore that bullshit. That's what I do. I try to ignore it sometimes. I do what I do best. I try to ignore this shit that's going on in this world, this crazy pandemic bullcrap. I try to ignore it. Anyways, but that doesn't mean I still watch the news though. If it's got something to do with what happened and where I live at, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna see. But and be watching the weather, because there's gonna be more hurricanes. There's gonna be more tropical cyclones popping up on the coast this year. We're gonna have more hurricanes this year, so be watching the weather. Be watching the weather on the Weather Channel. I'm sure you know what channel that is on DirecTV. And also be tuning in from my World of Tanks Mercenaries Valor live stream, because I'm actually going to be streaming on World of Tanks Valor, doing the Chisel contract, showing you how to get it done and what tanks you have to use for that contract. So be tuning in for that one. That's going to be next week. And also, I think Backlash this Sunday. I encourage you all not to watch it. It's going to be the worst pay-per-view this year, I'm telling you. It is going to suck so bad. But anyways, and last but not least, WWE needs to give these WWE Performance Center female-male trainees chairs to sit on. Like, they literally stand there, and cheered for probably about 1 to 2 hours on the show last night. So, they need to give those people, female, male WWE NXT Performance Center trainees chairs to sit on. Because that's bugging everybody so bad, that's pissing everybody off. Everybody is not everybody wants to see NXT Performance Center recruit trainees standing up cheering. They want to see them sitting down in chairs. Everybody wants to make sure that they all have energy, I just feel bad for them standing up like that. They need to give them chairs. This is ridiculous. I feel so bad for the NXT Performance Center male and female recruits, man. It's fucking fucked up, man. It's bullshit. Which goes to show WWE cares about nobody but themselves. Well, folks, I'm out of here. I got nothing else to say. I'm out of here. Thanks for watching my Friday Night Smackdown review. This is the end of it, so I'm out of here. Getting the hell out of here. Have a good day. Have a good rest of y'all's weekend. Peace. I am out. This time for real.